Binge or Purge? Binge or Purge? Binge or Purge?
Hello and welcome to Binge or Purge streaming reviews. I am your host, Dimo. My co-host is Joe Taylor. This is episode 56.
Good to see you, man. I've been out of town for about 2 weeks.
You have.
I wasn't watching a lot of news. Did I miss anything?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Business as usual.
Desert of news out there.
Okay, so like the town hasn't been burned to the ground or anything.
No, man. It's great.
Okay.
Everyone loves each other.
Good,
Things
good.
couldn't be better. Everyone loves television, by the way.
Oh.
Since you've been gone, the entire country's gone cuckoo for streaming shows. That's why we're here, man.
Yeah.
It couldn't be a better time for us.
Well, I'll tell you, we both were real excited about this first thing, and we thought that it might save us during these weird times.
Yeah.
Do you want to just go right after it?
You go for it.
Okay. Space Force.
Yes.
Makes perfect sense on paper, doesn't it?
Sure. I mean, you hear the name like Space Force. This is going to be an incredible comedy. It's going to be like a farce or a spoof, and it's none of that.
It's not Spaceballs. It's not Naked Gun. It's not even The Office. So this was developed by, let's back up, I guess, created by Greg Daniels, who brought us The American Office, and Steve Carell, who obviously starred in The American Office. Steve Carell, John Malkovich, Ben Schwartz from BoJack Horseman, which I love, as you know. Diana Silvers, I think kind of a newcomer. Jimmy O. Yang, Tawny Newsome, kind of surprisingly hot.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming.
She needs to be in a better show.
Yeah, and Lisa Kudrow for who knows why. And then there's Jane Lynch and Patrick Warburton. There's 25 main characters in this show, which is my biggest problem with it. What do you say?
I think it's an unmitigated disaster.
Yeah.
There's the Challenger exploding, and then there's Space Force.
Yeah.
It's not funny, man. It was not funny. I was going to bail after the third episode. I was so like, this can't get better. And I only stuck around to see if they were going to answer the Lisa Kudrow question, which they don't, by the way. You get to the 10th episode, and you're thinking, well, they're finally going to answer this one running gag. No, they don't.
Nope.
And it gets to the point where you're like, I guess no matter what joke they put in or reason for why she is where she is, it won't live up to it now. So it's just this thing that's never spoken of. And the only reason I stuck around was to get the answer to that. And you don't get it, and instead you get a 10th episode that is just nothing but setup for season 2. But I say, nuh-uh, I am not coming back for it. I can't believe I did all these episodes because this was a massive, massive disappointment. With a huge waste of talent, man. Huge waste of talent. Those names you wrote off, like Steve Carell and Malkovich.
Fred Willard is the last thing Fred Willard ever did. I thought his couple of scenes were some of the funniest, just joke-wise. But yeah, you got Jane Lynch has 2 lines in the whole season. Like, what are you using these people for?
I don't know.
Don't just put someone else in. You don't need recognizable talent as talking extras. There was just too much going on. It was a mess. The only character that had an arc was John Malkovich, who I loved. By far the best part of that whole show was John Malkovich, I thought.
Even overcoming the fact that he doesn't even have that great of material to work with.
He was great. Look, the thing is, this show is so much in the zeitgeist that we had to watch it. Had to.
Sure.
So we've been talking about it for 6 months, even though we didn't know if it was real or not. Now we wish it wasn't. If I'm an average listener at home, you have to watch a couple of these just to see what's going on.
No, you don't.
So here's
There's
the
no
thing.
reason to watch any of this.
Here's the thing. I know that this was your least favorite episode, but my favorite episode was where the dog and the chimpanzee were stranded in space.
Yeah.
And Steve Carell was trying to talk them through using tools.
Mm-hmm. I thought that was the complete nadir of this show, and it was only episode 2.
Okay. Well, like I said, I thought that was the best. So what's that tell you about how I feel about the rest of the show?
It did get a little better, a smidgen. You know, the characters sort of develop a little bit, but I think the whole show suffered from Veep-itis. Mm-hmm. Like it's a Veep wannabe. It wants to be, fast and quirky, but it doesn't have the zingers. Like if you watch Veep, it is just joke, 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 joke. I don't know how they do it on that show. This is not that. And like I said, I thought it was going to be a farce or a spoof, something. but it takes itself way too seriously, and it just doesn't have the jokes.
It doesn't, and it also has way too much crammed into 5 hours. You know, we talked about this before. Frasier was 24 episodes a season or something. This is literally 5 hours of TV. There's 25 main characters. There's too much going on. You can't really invest in anybody because they just can't dedicate enough time to them. One weird thing I will say about this show that surprised me is that you would think like, okay, this is based on, the announcement that we were going to have a Space Force branch of the military. The person who declared that never in the show, never even really referenced, just a text here and there. So
He just gets the POTUS
Yeah.
and FLOTUS. POTUS and FLOTUS.
Yeah, and
By the way, I'm over those acronyms.
Yeah, me
okay?
too.
Ugh.
So they left those people off the table completely, which I guess you would have to do.
Right.
But it was like noticeably missing. It's like nobody's even gonna, nothing, no voice, no phone call, just a text.
They could be any president. You're not even getting like a Trumpian vibe from anything. You know what I mean? It's like they're just like POTUS and FLOTUS, and you never really figure out like who are they? It's like it's in the future that we think. I mean, when is this even taking place?
That's a fantastic question.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
And also, it's like Space Force. They're going to defend, space, but all they're trying to do is get to the moon.
Right. Also, his daughter, who we're supposed to root for, is a huge a-hole.
She's an a-hole and a zero. I thought she was like super annoying.
Who are we rooting for in this? Not Ben Schwartz.
The Chinese, apparently.
I don't know,
with their
man.
moon base. Right?
I
Here's
guess.
what blows my mind. Greg Daniels made this show. Last episode, we were talking about his other show, Upload, how much we loved that. We said it was
Loved
a total
it.
binge.
Yep.
Right? And a week later, we're saying stay as far away as you can from Space Force. Like, how does that work? How does a guy just like have a thing that's great and then 5 minutes later have a thing that's horrible?
I don't know, man. This thing was such a huge swing and a miss because the antagonist, the head of the Air Force, completely uninteresting.
Boring.
No motivation. I don't know. This isn't acting class.
I think we've already beat this to death.
Oh my God. I hope somebody
Failure
does.
to launch.
I hope somebody beats everyone involved with this show to death, including us.
Yeah, we will not be back for season 2.
I might watch it anyway. But
Of course you will.
But it's still...
I knew you were going to say that. You're like, I might check it out anyway.
Yeah, I might. Okay, so what do you give it?
Oh my God, Purge.
There you go. Space Force on Netflix. 10 episodes, half an hour-ish. Not yet renewed for second season. Hopefully not coming back. Swing and a miss. But hey, that happens.
By the way, we should mention it has a critic score of 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. They got it right, but the audience is at 77%? What's wrong with you people?
I don't know. Okay, what else? You have some updates on some stuff you watched that you already said was good, but you want to recap,
Yeah,
right?
I have 2 shows that were already previous binges. They are Dead to Me and Ramy. They're both back for season 2, and I just want to give a quick overview of where they're at. Now, I thoroughly enjoyed the first season of Dead to Me. Stars Christina Applegate, Linda Cardellini, and James Marsden. The big thing about them was the performances, specifically Christina Applegate. And I'm going to say season 2 is definitely rocking only for the performances because the plot and storyline is not up to par with what it was in season 1.
So I watched season 1, also agree, binge. Linda Cardellini, aye.
Yeah, you love her.
I do. I don't know what that's about,
She's
but
a good-looking woman.
yeah, I guess. So there's that, but then I started watching season 2, and I was like, "What's happening?" Oh, never mind. I don't care.
Right.
Click.
I know.
No.
I feel like they've got one season left in them. They're obviously going to come back for a third, and I think they should just wrap it up. And like I said,
Yeah,
the
they
only
will.
reason I enjoyed this season was Christina Applegate doing just outstanding work.
All 3 of those people you mentioned are good. Yeah.
She'd deliver a line that was so good, I'd like back it up so I could hear it a couple times again. Crushing it here, man.
That's yeah.
The best I've ever seen her do.
Okay.
So I'm going to say it's a light binge.
Season 2 of Dead to Me on Netflix.
Season 2 of Dead to Me on Netflix. Like I said, 10 episodes. They average a half an hour each. But don't go in thinking it's going to be what it was last season. It ends up being like, we got to cover our bases and our tracks here, as opposed to like this an intriguing relationship. I mean, I will say in its favor, it does expand the relationship between the two of them, but not enough. like I said, you watch it for the performances at this point, and that's it. So light binge.
And the second one
Ramy.
on Hulu.
Yes, 10 episodes, half an hour each. It was created by comedian Ramy Youssef. Now, I thoroughly enjoyed the first season. This season, what's keeping it together are the supporting characters, because I found Ramy this season to be annoying. He's turned into a total drip, like a spineless, I don't know. He just does things that end up hurting other people, and I found his storyline to be the weakest part of the season, and he's your lead.
Like an Aziz Ansari type.
I guess. I don't know. I just found like he was kind of like, he's really not taking responsibility for any of his actions.
Yeah,
And,
again.
it's like, man up, dude. But the reason to watch it is his mother, his sister, his father, and his uncle.
Okay.
Yeah.
They all get their
They
own
all get their
arcs.
own episode. They have a good arc, especially the mom. She's got the best episode. She's like trying her best to fit into American culture, but she's tone deaf. Like she has good intentions, but just completely fails at every moment. She's a great character. It's just a real comedy gold in that. And then the uncle, who's a racist, bigot, uncouth, he's a yuck.
Okay.
He has an eye-opening episode that really, you really get to see a humane side to him that you didn't think you were ever going to get. I should also mention, for season 2, they added Mahershala Ali to bring in some gravitas. He plays an Omam?
An African-American guy.
No, you racist! No!
He doesn't play an African-American guy?
Well, yeah, he does.
Okay.
But he plays
Imam.
The Imam.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good.
Who's the racist
Who's
now?
the racist now?
He's fantastic, obviously.
Yeah, he's great.
Moonlight and True Detective and all that other stuff, yeah.
Green Book. It's a 2-time Oscar winner, for God's sake. If you don't know who he is, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
So anyway, they add him for season 2. He's a good addition. This is another case of the second season not being as good as the first, but still worth it, because I feel like at the end of the day, the message to me is like, he's a Muslim Egyptian and different culturally, and it's a different point of view, but when you break it down, he and his family are having the same issues anybody else in America is having. We're all dealing with basic human problems, and I think this illustrates it great that we're all the same.
Okay, so we're all experiencing the same terror and horror and sadness and
Yes.
crippling
We're
emptiness.
all lost.
Okay.
We're all dealing- yeah.
That actually makes
everybody.
me feel better. Okay.
It's a good show, as long as it's not focused on Ramy.
Oh, well, okay.
You know, I know he's the lead, but there's enough nuggets of other characters that this season is worth watching.
Okay,
So
there you
that's
have it.
Ramy season 2, and it's a binge.
Last thing.
Wow, we're moving along, man.
Good.
Do you guys even need me this week?
I came across, I love a good docuseries.
We know.
And I came across one about healthcare workers. Timely.
Oh, yeah.
Although this was shot pre-COVID, so there's none of that stuff in it.
Hold on. The filmmaker shot a special coronavirus episode called Pandemic back in March. It will be streaming starting on June 24th. See, you do need me.
It follows 4 doctors in New York City at Lenox Hill Hospital. The docuseries is called Lenox Hill. It's 8 episodes. They're all about 45 to an hour.
Is this on what, Joe?
This is on Netflix.
Thank you.
Who is this produced by? No one you've heard of. Who does it star? No one you've heard of. It's just really a slice of life thing. And as docuseries go, well done. The people who are producing it stay out of it, which I think is like the only requirement really for a good documentary or good docuseries.
Yeah, get out of the way.
Yeah, they let the people speak for themselves. They don't have any kind of agenda. Some of the issues it covers is, and there's a lot here because we're just talking about humanity. And people go here to be born and to die. And it kind of covers everything in between. Tough time to be a doctor right now. I can tell you that because they're not getting paid as much as they used to. And they're having to pay more in insurance. And they're supposed to do more with less. And yada, yada, yada. So it's a tough industry to begin with. But then having to really, to cut someone's brain open. 2 of the people on this show that they follow are neurosurgeons. And they go into operations thinking that there's a 20% chance that they're not coming out of it, the patient. So there's a lot of that. The thing that threw me the most, now this is very shallow, but I want to say it anyway because it really distracted me. At the end of the first episode, they follow these 4 people. Again, 2 neurosurgeons, an ER doctor, and a OBGYN, a woman who delivers babies and stuff.
Yeah.
All of them go out of the hospital and they get on the subway and go home. Now, I don't know what a neurosurgeon makes. I'm going to guess somewhere between $500,000 a year and $2.5 million in New York. Sound about right?
I guess.
Yeah, a lot. More than us.
They make more than you and more than
us
you and
combined.
Me.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Then they go get on the subway. Now, are you familiar with the subway in New York?
Yeah, it's a dump.
Actually, what they do is they go get the dumpsters from behind like the fast food restaurants. They hook them all together and they fire them down an underground tunnel full of rats and homeless people. This was so disgusting to watch, like a documentary film inside the subway. How do you be a medical professional and ride a subway?
You wash your hands. I mean, right? You scrub them. You give them a good cleaning.
Would you ever crawl inside my garbage can and roll yourself down the stairs outside my apartment?
No.
That's what it looked like they were doing to me. I'm like, are these people insane?
That's how people get around in New York.
Yeah, apparently, but it horrified me.
Have you never been to New York?
No, and I'm never going.
What?
Why would I?
Just say you've been to New York.
I could just crawl inside a dumpster and I imagine it'd be about the same thing. Forget
Oh my
it.
God! No, you need to go up in the Empire State Building.
No,
you know,
I don't.
like, oh, me and King Kong, we did it. You know?
Yeah, me and Meg Ryan and King Kong, we'd all have a threesome. I don't know. I had no interest in going there.
You should go there, and then you can hate on it legitimately. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm not saying you have to enjoy it, but you should go to experience it. Everyone should go to New York at least once.
New York City.
Yeah.
There's people live 20,000 people in an apartment building and stuff. It's insane.
Yeah, that's
No
why it's
wonder
a
everyone's
COVID
sick.
nightmare.
Yeah, it's just a petri dish.
Here's the thing. I could have moved from where I grew up, been 6 hours away from where I grew up, and lived in New York City. But I said, no, I'd rather go 3,000 miles away and live in LA. And I made the right choice.
Can you even swim in the ocean in New York? They don't have beaches, do they?
They do have beaches, but they're rocky and I don't know. But not like here, man.
Okay.
I mean, this is the beach.
Well, here's my point. If I was making $1 million a year, I'm not riding a chuck wagon full of rats and hobos back to my... And by
I'm sure the neurosurgeons live in what, Connecticut or something, right?
I don't know, man. Where does the subway even drop you off that's near your house as a neurosurgeon? How do you get from that subway stop to your actual house?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
A lot of this stuff bothered me. Anyway, the part about the medical industry and the doctors and the stories and the challenges that they face was actually very moving. I thought it was a great documentary. I'm going to say Purge New York City, but Lenox Hill, one of the top things on Netflix this week. I got to give that a binge.
All right. You want to do a recap, Joe?
Sure. We talked about Space Force, which we've been looking forward to forever.
Yeah.
And
What
burned
an
us.
Burned
us.
Epic fail.
That's on Netflix. We said skip it, although you almost can't because everyone else has watched it.
We're letting people know right now.
It's bad.
It's bad. Don't think you have to watch it because everybody else is. That's what we're here for. We jumped on that grenade.
Don't get Tiger Kinged here.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. It's not like everyone's watching it. Yeah, exactly. You don't have to watch Space Force, folks.
No, it's not good. Season 2 of Ramy and Dead to Me, Dimo said are great. And Joe said Lenox Hill.
Slow down. I said that season 2 of Dead to Me is not nearly as good as the first season. However, the performances make up for it, and that's why it's a binge.
Okay.
And I thought Ramy still not as good as season 1, but the supporting parts, they're the reason to watch.
Okay, fine. And then Lenox Hill docuseries on Netflix. Very interesting. If you have any interest in the medical profession, that's a great thing to watch. Now, I'm looking forward to a couple things. One comes out on Friday. You know what it is? Season 2 of Ryan Murphy's The Politician.
Oh, you love that show.
Yeah.
I mean, that was your favorite thing last year, wasn't it? At least
It was
right up there.
It was
right?
up there, yeah. That's going to be good. Now, you have something, too, that I'm sure I'm not going to watch. What's that?
I do. June 27th, the third and final season of Netflix's original series, Dark. This is the one in German. It's the sci-fi time travel show that I loved, that anybody that watches it loves. So very, very excited for that. Again,
Okay.
that's June 27th. Super psyched.
Good. And we're also, at some point, a listener recommended a show called Into the Night, not to be confused with Dark, which I actually have watched that already. And then the Making of the Mandalorian thing on Disney Plus. We'll talk about that too. That'll be fun.
Oh, yeah. I got to talk about it, right? It's Star Wars.
Yeah.
Who would I be to not talk about Star Wars? Also want to mention, I just read today, one of my favorite shows from last year, which you hated, The Umbrella Academy. Returning for season 2, July 31st.
Why? When are they even shooting that? That show had to have taken 2.5 years to shoot.
They did it. They shot it a while ago. It's all in the can. It's ready to go.
Okay.
And that's going to be, like I said, the very end of July. So looking forward to that as well.
Did they figure out if animals can talk in the world or just the one?
Don't start. You're the one that just enjoyed Steve Carell trying to get a chimpanzee to use a drill in space. All right?
That was my favorite part.
Yeah. So we can have talking monkeys if you think Steve Carell can pull it off.
I wish that talking monkey would have told me not to watch Space Force. All right.
All right, and that's it. As always, we want to thank Jess the Facts. You can follow Jess the Facts on Instagram at @TheJessieGreer. That's Jesse with a Y. So for Joe Taylor, my name is Dimo. This has been Binge or Purge Streaming Reviews. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.